This near-death experience story is sent by Jessica, a 60-year-old American woman who never believed in life after death. But everything changed when she found herself on the other side. A place so vivid, so overwhelming, that it shattered everything she thought she knew about reality. She didn't just see light or meet departed loved ones. Instead, she encountered beings unlike anything she had ever imagined. Pleiadians, luminous entities who revealed truths about humanity's past, present, and future. What she saw and learned left her forever transformed. Was it a hallucination, or was it the ultimate truth hidden from the world? Jessica had always been a healthy woman, never one to visit doctors unless absolutely necessary. But in the summer of her 60th year, she began experiencing strange symptoms. Persistent fatigue, dizziness, and an overwhelming sense of heaviness in her chest. Doctors ran test after test, yet nothing seemed to explain her sudden decline. Each day, she felt herself growing weaker, unable to shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Then one evening, as she sat alone in her bedroom, a sharp pain shot through her body, knocking her breath away. A chilling realization hit her. This wasn't just sickness. This was something far more serious. As she collapsed onto her bed, her mind drifted in and out of consciousness. A numbing cold spread through her limbs, and a strange stillness settled over her. She heard muffled voices, her husband, the paramedics, the frantic urgency in their tones. But their words grew distant, like echoes fading into a vast, empty space. Jessica felt herself slipping away, the grip on her body loosening with every passing second. The room blurred, the walls melting into a dark abyss. It was in that moment, when everything turned silent, that she realized she was dying. Then, without warning, the fear disappeared. The pain, the worry, the confusion, all of it vanished in an instant. A profound sense of peace flooded her, wrapping her in an embrace unlike anything she had ever known. It was as if she had been pulled out of her physical form, floating effortlessly above her body. She could see the paramedics working frantically to revive her, the fear on her husband's face, but none of it felt real anymore. It was just a scene, a memory of a life that was slipping further and further away. And then, the light appeared. Jessica felt weightless as she drifted higher, drawn toward a shimmering light that pulsed with warmth and energy. It wasn't just a glow. It was alive, intelligent, and filled with an indescribable love. The moment she stepped closer, she felt every worry, every pain from her earthly life, dissolve into nothingness. It was unlike anything she had ever imagined. No fear, no doubt, just an overwhelming sense of belonging. Time didn't exist here. She wasn't sure if she had been floating for seconds or centuries, but she didn't care. She felt home. As she moved toward the radiant presence, a tunnel appeared before her, stretching endlessly into the unknown. It wasn't dark or frightening, but filled with swirling colors, deep blues, purples, and golds, forming patterns she couldn't comprehend. Each color carried an emotion, a memory, a truth she instinctively understood. She knew, without being told, that she was crossing a boundary, leaving behind the physical world and stepping into something far greater. It wasn't just death. It was a transition, a doorway to something more profound than she had ever believed possible. Then she heard it, a voice, but not in words. It was a knowing, a deep telepathic connection that vibrated through her very being. "You are not alone," it said. And suddenly, she realized she wasn't. Beams of light surrounded her, their forms radiant and flowing like energy itself. They weren't human, yet they felt familiar, as if she had known them before. She wanted to ask, to understand who they were, but before she could, they began guiding her deeper into the tunnel, toward something she could barely comprehend. As Jessica moved through the tunnel, she noticed how everything around her shimmered, shifting like waves of liquid light. It wasn't a passage in the traditional sense. It was an experience, an unfolding of realities beyond anything her human mind could grasp. She felt emotion she had no words for, saw images that weren't memories but pieces of a greater truth. It was as if she was being shown the universe itself, layer by layer, each one more breathtaking than the last. She realized she was not just traveling forward. She was expanding, becoming part of something infinitely vast. The deeper she went, the more she felt an undeniable presence around her. It wasn't just the beings of light. It was something greater, something that held the fabric of existence itself. She could feel it speaking to her, not in words, but in pure understanding. She saw glimpses of Earth, of humanity, of lives interconnected in ways she had never imagined. She understood, in a single instant, that love was the very foundation of everything. It wasn't just an emotion, it was the force that held the universe together. And then she saw them. The figures emerged from the radiance, tall, luminous, with eyes that held galaxies within them. They exuded peace, wisdom, and an ancient familiarity. She knew them before they spoke, as if they had always been watching over her, waiting for this moment. They were not spirits or angels. They were Pleiadians, and they had something to show her. Jessica stood in awe as one of the beings stepped forward. He radiated a soft blue glow, his energy calm yet commanding. He didn't speak with his mouth, yet she understood every word he sent into her mind. "You have always known us." The voice resonated. "We are here to remind you of what you have forgotten." A wave of recognition washed over her, memories she didn't know she had suddenly flooding back. She had met them before, many times, in many lifetimes. They were her guides, her teachers, and now they were here to reveal the truth. The being gestured, and instantly, the space around them transformed. Jessica was no longer in the tunnel. Instead, she was floating above the earth, watching as streams of light connected people across the globe. Every human was linked by an unseen force, glowing threads of energy weaving through the planet. "This is the connection of all souls," the being explained. "But many have forgotten. Fear, pain, and division have dimmed the light. We are here to help restore it." She felt their sincerity, their deep, unwavering love for humanity. They were not here to control or interfere. They were here to guide. Jessica's mind raced with questions, but before she could ask, the Pleiadian reached out, touching her forehead. A surge of energy shot through her, and suddenly she saw everything: past lives, hidden knowledge, the vast expanse of the universe unfolding before her. It was more than she could comprehend, yet somehow she understood. The truth had been within her all along. She had simply forgotten. Jessica stared in awe at the luminous beings before her. Their presence was both powerful and gentle, their very existence radiating an energy that felt like pure love. She didn't feel fear, only a deep recognition, as though she had known them forever. One of them stepped closer, his form shimmering with a soft blue glow. He didn't have distinct facial features like humans, yet his expression was unmistakably kind. Without speaking, he conveyed his message directly into her mind. "We are the Pleiadians, and we have been watching over your world for eons. You have always been part of us." The words were not just heard, they were felt. Jessica's mind flooded with memories she had never known, as if something ancient inside her had awakened. She saw glimpses of distant worlds, civilizations far beyond Earth's understanding, and the role the Pleiadians had played throughout human history. They were not here to control or manipulate, only to guide. They had assisted humanity in its earliest stages, planting the seeds of wisdom, love, and enlightenment. Over time, however, humanity had forgotten, allowing fear and division to cloud the truth. But the time has come to remember, the being told her. Jessica felt a pull within her soul, a knowing that everything she had ever questioned now made sense. The Pleiadians showed her how they had communicated with ancient cultures, appearing in dreams, visions, and moments of divine inspiration. They were the unseen hands that had guided humanity toward growth. yet always from a distance. But now, they said, Earth was entering a new phase of awakening. More and more people were beginning to sense their presence, to feel the call of higher consciousness. She was being shown this truth not just for herself, but so she could share it with others. Jessica was no longer just an observer. She was experiencing the very fabric of the universe itself. The Pleiadians surrounded her, their energy merging with hers, allowing her to see in a way she never had before. Suddenly, the vast cosmos unfolded before her eyes. Stars pulsed with life, planets vibrated with energy, and galaxies swirled in an intricate, harmonious dance. But more than that, she saw the interconnectedness of everything, how each soul, each thought, each action sent ripples across the entire universe. Nothing existed in isolation. Everything was bound by an invisible force. Her vision shifted, and she saw Earth from above. At first, she saw it as she had always known it, a beautiful blue planet. But then, as if a veil had been lifted, she saw something far greater. Every human being glowed with an energy field, some bright and radiant, others dim and flickering. She saw emotions, thoughts, and intentions moving like currents, shaping the world in ways she had never imagined. "You are all creators," the Pleiadian whispered. "Your thoughts, your beliefs, they shape reality itself. This is the truth humanity has forgotten." Jessica felt her mind expanding, understanding concepts she had never even considered before. She saw how human consciousness had been suppressed, kept in a cycle of fear and limitation. But she also saw hope, a rising shift, a collective awakening that was just beginning. More and more people were questioning, seeking, remembering. The Pleiadians were not here to save humanity. They were here to remind humanity of its own power. Jessica realized she had spent her entire life believing she was small, insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Now she understood. She was limitless. Jessica had heard stories about near-death experiences before, about people seeing their lives flash before their eyes. But what she experienced was far beyond that. The Pleiadians gently guided her to a space where time did not exist. Suddenly, her entire life unfolded before her, not as a linear sequence of events, but as an intricate web of cause and effect. Every decision, every word, every thought had created ripples, shaping not just her own life, but the lives of those around her. She watched moments from her childhood, her teenage years, her struggles and her triumphs. But what struck her the most was not just seeing her actions, it was feeling them. When she saw herself being kind to a stranger, she felt the warmth it brought to that person's heart. When she saw moments of anger or pain, she felt how they had affected others. It wasn't about judgment. There was no punishment, no condemnation. It was simply understanding. "You are here to learn, to grow," the Pleiadian told her. "Every choice you have made has been a step toward that growth." Then, something unexpected happened. Jessica saw moments from her life that she had long forgotten, but not from her own perspective. She saw through the eyes of others, the friend she had unknowingly inspired, the stranger whose day she had brightened with a simple smile. She realized how much impact she had made, even in the smallest moments. And then she saw something else, scenes from lives that weren't hers, visions of different times, different bodies, different places. She understood. This wasn't her first life. She had lived many times before, each one a step in an endless journey of learning and awakening. Jessica turned to the Pleiadians, her mind filled with questions. Why is humanity struggling? Why do so many feel lost? Why do we forget who we are? The Pleiadians responded with kindness, their energies soothing yet firm. "Humanity is in transition," they explained. "You are shifting from one stage of evolution to another. But great change always brings great resistance. The darkness you see in the world is not a sign of failure. It is the final struggle before awakening." They explained how fear had been used to keep humanity small, disconnected from their true potential. But the awakening had already begun. More and more souls were remembering, questioning, and seeking truth. "You are not alone in this journey," they assured her. "You are surrounded by guides, by higher beings, by energies that support your growth. But you must make the choice to see beyond illusion." They showed her the power of thoughts, how each individual could shift reality by changing their perception. The world she knew was not set in stone. It was fluid, shaped by collective belief. Jessica absorbed every word, feeling their truth deep in her soul. She realized that the fear, the division, the pain she had witnessed in her life, it was all part of the process. Humanity was like a child learning to walk, stumbling, falling, but always getting back up. And the Pleiadians were here, not to interfere, but to offer guidance. "You have more power than you know," they told her. "It is time to remember." She felt a surge of energy, a determination unlike anything she had ever felt before. She wasn't just here to experience this truth, she was here to share it. Jessica felt a gentle pull as the scene around her dissolved into a serene, glowing space. The air vibrated with a calming hum, and the Pleiadians gestured toward a radiant chamber that pulsed with golden light. "You carry the weight of your human life," they told her. "It is time to release it." As she stepped into the chamber, warmth surrounded her, seeping into every part of her being. It wasn't just physical healing, it was emotional, spiritual, and energetic. Every wound, every trauma, every burden she had carried melted away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace. She felt years of sorrow, fear, and self-doubt dissolving, as if they had never existed. The energy in the chamber seemed to cleanse her at a cellular level, restoring her to a state of pure harmony. She hadn't realized how much weight she had been carrying until it was gone. "Human existence is heavy," the Pleiadians said, "but you are not meant to suffer. You are meant to grow, to love, to experience joy." Jessica felt tears forming, not from sadness, but from a deep, profound release. It was the most beautiful sensation she had ever known. When she stepped out of the chamber, she felt different, lighter, clearer, as if she had been reborn. She understood now that healing wasn't just about the body. It was about letting go of the illusions that kept people trapped in fear. "Take this gift back with you," the Pleiadians said, "and help others remember that they, too, can heal." Jessica knew she would never see the world the same way again. She had been given a glimpse of what was possible, not just for her, but for all of humanity. Jessica stood amidst the luminous glow of the celestial realm, her soul vibrating with an energy she had never known before. She had been shown wisdom beyond human comprehension, had felt love in its purest form, and had witnessed the vast, interconnected fabric of existence. She knew she was standing at the threshold of something eternal. But then, the Pleiadians turned to her, their radiant presence filled with understanding. "Jessica, you have a choice," one of them conveyed. "You can stay here, or you can return to Earth." The words echoed through her being. Stay. The idea was tempting. Here, there was no suffering, no doubt, no fear. There was only peace, knowledge, and love. Yet, deep inside, a pull began to grow, a whisper reminding her of the life she had left behind. Her family, her loved ones, the people she had yet to meet. She thought of how much she wanted to share what she had learned, how many souls were searching for the very answers she had just received. "What happens if I return?" she asked. The Pleiadians smiled, their energy radiating reassurance. "You will awaken with the wisdom of this journey, but the physical world will challenge you. Many will not believe. Some will doubt you. But those who are ready will hear, and their awakening will begin. The choice is yours." Jessica felt her heart swell. She understood that life was not meant to be an escape from suffering, but a path of growth and transformation. And now she had been given the key to help others find that path. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "I choose to return." The moment Jessica made her choice, a sudden force surged through her. It was as if she were being pulled backward, spiraling through space and time at an unfathomable speed. The celestial light dimmed, the voices of the Pleiadians faded, and an overwhelming sensation of gravity pressed against her. The warmth and peace of the higher realm disappeared, replaced by the dense, physical weight of her human body. Then, in an instant, her eyes shot open. She was back. The sterile glow of the hospital room surrounded her, the rhythmic beeping of machines filling her ears. For a moment, she couldn't breathe, not from pain, but from the sheer shock of being in a body again. Her limbs felt heavy, foreign, as if she had been away for centuries. Then she saw the faces of her loved ones, their eyes wide with disbelief and relief. "She's awake," someone gasped. Nurses rushed into the room, medical equipment whirring, doctors scrambling to check her vitals. Jessica tried to speak, but the words caught in her throat. How could she possibly explain what had happened? That she had seen the truth of existence, met beams of light, and had been given knowledge beyond anything on earth. She looked into the tear-filled eyes of her husband, who clutched her hand as if afraid she would slip away again. She wanted to tell him everything, but she knew this was only the beginning. She had returned for a reason, and now she had to find a way to share what she had learned. The medical team was baffled. Jessica's vitals were stable, her body showing no signs of the trauma she had endured. Just hours earlier, they had pronounced her clinically dead. Her heart had stopped, and all brain activity had ceased. Yet now, she sat up in her hospital bed, fully conscious, her strength returning faster than they could explain. "This shouldn't be possible," one doctor muttered, flipping through her charts. "There's no medical reason for her to be alive." Jessica, however, felt stronger than ever. Not just physically, but spiritually. She knew that the energy she had received in the higher realm had healed her in ways that science couldn't understand. When the doctors asked what she had experienced, she hesitated. How could she tell them that she had been on the other side? That she had met celestial beings who revealed the truth about humanity's origins? She simply said, "I saw something beautiful." As the days passed, word of her miraculous recovery spread. Some doctors dismissed it as an anomaly, an unexplained medical mystery. Others were quietly intrigued, sensing that there was more to her survival than logic could account for. But Jessica knew the truth. Her return was not a coincidence. It was a divine intervention. She had been sent back with a mission, and now she had to figure out how to fulfill it. One night, as Jessica sat in quiet reflection, she felt an overwhelming presence surround her. It was the same loving energy she had experienced on the other side. She closed her eyes and allowed herself to sink into the feeling, knowing deep within that the Pleiadians were still with her. She wasn't alone. She had never been alone. And in that moment, she finally understood the greatest truth of all. Love is the foundation of everything. All the fear, the doubt, the struggles humanity faced, it all stemmed from forgetting this one simple truth. Love wasn't just an emotion. It was the very fabric of existence. It was the energy that connected all souls, all dimensions, all forms of life. The universe itself thrived on love, and when people lived in alignment with it, miracles unfolded. But fear had created barriers, causing people to feel separate, lost, and powerless. But love was always the answer. It was the force that healed, the light that guided, the truth that set souls free. Jessica realized that her purpose wasn't to convince people of what she had seen. It was to remind them of what they had always known in their hearts. Whether or not they believed in near-death experiences, in Pleiadians, or in life after death didn't matter. What mattered was that they embraced love, compassion, and unity. The moment they did, they would find the truth on their own. And that, more than anything, was the gift she had been sent back to share.